For years, the market of teaching has long baffled young people, and especially in the area of job market, we are always confused, baffled, pessimism, optimism, different types of views have always persisted. Being into the professional life of teaching, it has been my experience that although it is the most demanding situation and a demanding position, yet there are a lot of ifs and buts. There are a lot of matches and mismatches. And we, as human beings, as professionals who are trying to guide the young generation into the right direction, are always often baffled. We are always puzzled in order to get into the right direction. Today, we have with us someone who would be guiding us through the process of making a career into ESL training. A person who has traveled across many countries, a person who is considered as a mentor, not only by hundreds, but if I'm not wrong, maybe thousands, a person who has helped to shape millions people, thousands of young people in different parts of the world to shape up their future. This is a great opportunity for me from Asian College of Teachers to welcome Mr. Smohit, the lead trainer of IEC department of one of the most reputed school in Thailand, Bangkok, Arun Pradit School. He is joining us directly from Thailand. Just to give you a very brief idea about who he is the founder of Zebra Cross Technologies India Private Limited. He is basically a kind of an educational technologist researcher and is also the lead trainer in English language in the IEC department of Arun Pradit School, Thailand. He has been conducting various workshops based on education and technology in Southeast Asian countries. He has trained a lot of teachers around the globe, and he has been teaching to equip them with technology. He has mentored and he has helped to shape the future of many young generation. Welcome, Mr. Smohit. A very warm welcome from Asian College of Teachers to this very special show. We call it Facebook Live.
Thank you very much, Shaunak, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. As he mentioned, I'm Smohit. I live in Thailand. There is a small correction. My school is located in Phetchaburi, which is like 2 hours from Bangkok. So it's not in Bangkok, but it's one of the oldest and most prestigious schools in the country. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity too.
Absolutely. So we will come directly to the point because we have a very important thing coming up today. That is, we are fortunate to get you, and I am very sure that there will be a lot of questions asked, and we from Asian College, we will try to answer a lot of almost all of them. So now, considering the current situation that you are in Thailand, so my first question would be that we understand that you have been into teaching, and particularly your current profile would be English teaching. But I would like to ask you the first question is that just let us know initially how do we qualify as an ESL teacher? I mean to say, if we can divide it into academic and professional, let us take one by one, and if you can explain us, barring the personality, which is obviously an important part, if you can take us through the right direction.
Okay, so before starting it, I would like to inform you something, and I want your perceptions to, I want to know your perception regarding, many teachers are always confused about EFL and ESL. I know right now we are talking like our topic for the day is how to qualify as an international ESL teacher. Right. So I'm very sure you all know that ESL stands for English as a second language, and EFL stands for English as a foreign language. But when you become an ESL teacher, or if you want to become an EFL teacher, your approach needs to be different. This is the first point I want to make. Now, I can explain it to you in very simple words so that it will be very clear. So I have a direct questions because this time I can only talk to Shona. So I'll be asking him. So imagine you, you as a young boy, you're meeting a foreigner, a blonde hair guy for the first time, a blonde guy for the first time in your life, okay? And you're a kid. What will be your reaction, or how you will react to that kind of a situation? You're meeting a foreigner for the
First of all,
first
I
time.
think that if I'm meeting, yeah,
A white guy
first
for the
time, what
first
I
time
think
in
that
your life.
obviously, okay, I think the first thing which I would think is the language that I would use. How would I
Oh no,
talk? Whether he or she will.
consider you are just like a 2-year-old kid. We don't need, so you are
Okay,
not gonna worry about
go
when
back.
you, 2-year-old kid.
Okay,
So
it would be like something which would be matching, something which I like. I would like to see that thing. If I see somebody blonde and somebody who has got something which is different, I would say that I would have to maybe as a 2-year-old kid I have to rethink, or there would be a reaction from my side that who this person or who is that person. Because it is not matching with my kind of a profile
yes,
or
yes. So
my outlook.
your outlook. Usually, I've observed this kind of thing. So usually, the kids like to hide behind their parents when they meet a foreigner, especially like
Absolutely.
a European or someone, so a different looking person. They like to hide behind their parents. So because there is a fear inside. Okay, this is the same
Yes,
scenario. Like change that kid to a language. Okay,
I got.
just when you consider a language as a foreign language, there is fear in it. Okay, so students are afraid of a foreign language. So as a teacher, we need to adapt ourselves where we can help them how to train such kids, change that foreign to friendly language. So for me, EFL means English as a friendly language. So this is the first thing we have to
Okay.
do as a teacher. Be friendly. Okay? English as a friendly language, give them that kind of an idea to a student. Now, how about ESL? It's a second language. That means you are meeting a person from your own country and you may not be, having that kind of fear. So it's something, a language which is used in your country as a second language, and most of the people can speak or write that language. So the scenario is different. So when you wanted to teach abroad, especially English language, first thing we have to notice, like whether English is a foreign language or a second language in that country. When you know
Very important.
about it, that's the main part. Then only you can redesign your thinking. You can design your approach how to teach those kids. So I know most of the listeners or most of the viewers of this video are from India. So here, like in India, English is a second language. But I'm sitting in Thailand. Here, it's a foreign language. So you cannot use the same approach what you use in India, in Thailand, it will fail
Absolutely.
because it's ESL versus EFL. So
Yes.
this is the first point I want to make so that we can start our discussion from here on. So yeah, what's the question?
So I would like to I would like to summarize for those all the viewers who are watching this show. So we are talking with Mr. Mohit joining directly from Thailand. Now this is something really important. It's a new learning. I think it's a new learning for me too. So if it is a foreign language, let us understand that a 2 years old kid is hiding behind the parents. That is basically the essence of a foreign language, and we have to make it English as a friendly language, what Mr. Smohit has told. Especially for country like India, it is not a foreign language, it is a second language. So I would like to take a note over here that those who are watching this live talk show should orient them what Mr. Smohit has rightly advised, that the country that you are going, what type of language is there? Is it a second language? It is a foreign language. To be very honest, most of us get a kind of a no distinction between EFL and ESL. Often we say, oh, EF and ESL is the same. Ultimately, you have to do a TEFL and teach English over there. This is something very, very important. So thank you very much again for making this note. My next question is that when we are talking of let us start with the academic part. I'm not talking of any specific language. We will come to that part. Obviously, we won't leave you. It has been fortunate to get you right at this moment. So if we talk of the academic part, general academic, how would you rate them, or what would be your advice to go? First, the academic, then we cut to the professional part.
Okay, to the academic part, this topic is basically about ESL and EFL. But my point will be for all teachers. You don't need to be just an English teacher. There are many opportunities for subject teachers too. Please understand that. So let's divide this into, in a broader perception so that it is beneficial for all, not just for language teachers. See, if you want to be a teacher, the question is, do you want to be a teacher or not? First question, yes or no. You need to decide it right now. The second question, if you are proficient in English language, do you want to be an English teacher? Now, some students might get confused. How can I test whether I'm proficient or not in the English language? So what I recommend to you is, try to assess your CEFR level. Okay, so it's very easy for you to assess the CEFR level. All you need to do is, so you can see this website. If you can switch my screen, so it will be easy for them. So there is a website called efset.org. So if you go to this website, there is a 50-minute EFSET examination or test for free of cost. I recommend all those people who wish to become an English teacher, try this test. And if you are getting C1, level C1 or C2, start training to be an English teacher. But if you are getting lower than that, then you need to train yourself to improve your command over the language. This is the first thing you have to do. After that, okay, now I'm a math teacher. Someone is believing that he or she is the best math teacher. Okay, no worries. Apply. But you need a basic English level to be a mathematics teacher abroad, because the medium of teaching will be English. So there are many English medium or English program schools around the world where you can teach mathematics. So most of the countries accept teachers with a degree. Okay, it's not necessary that you need to have a bachelor's in education. It's not necessary. But after working for 4 or 5 years, you are supposed to at least take a course which is related to the field of education. Like I think Asian College of Teachers got a lot of courses like
Yes,
postgraduate
yes.
diploma
We
courses
have
for
recently,
teachers, and
yeah, launched.
yeah, so
We did
so
also.
all,
We launched
yeah,
with
those kind of
European
courses will
University.
help.
Right.
Yeah, those kind of courses will help you to understand the concepts in the field of education. For example, I'm not from the field of education, but after working in Thailand as a teacher for 4 years, I realized that, oh, I need to upgrade my knowledge in the field of education. Then later, I joined for a postgraduate diploma in teaching profession just to understand the concept. Now I'm in love with education, and I realized, I learned the concept about education and everything, and it helped me a lot to transform myself into a better teacher, because I can experience it from my own students, like uh, they are getting better results. So I realized that I am applying the concepts I learned from those courses, and it helped me a lot. So my worthy request to all the listeners is try to get at least a diploma in the field of education if you want to become
Okay.
a teacher. This will help you a
Okay.
lot.
Right.
Can I
Absolutely.
can I add on some more points into it? Why, I will also tell
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
Because once you have a good knowledge about uh, how to run a class, there are some things like how to create a good lesson plan. We need to learn it.
Okay.
We need to know how to evaluate and assess our kids. It's not just correcting the answers and putting the score. No, we have formative assessments, summative assessments. So we need to know, understand all these concepts. Then it will help actually the students a lot. So we are not wasting our time. We are not wasting their time too. And at the end of the day, we are all teachers to transform them and give them a better life. So it's worth investing in courses like this so that there will be progress in our career too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, if I may go back, Mrs. Mohit, to the basics, what I would like to request you, let's say, for example, if I take point wise, number one is a graduation, what you told. Second
Yes,
would be bachelor's, sorry, diploma minimum in, so bachelor's diploma in education. Number three, I
yes.
think, would be a clear criminal background, which I think would be essential, clearance.
No, in order to become a teacher, if you want to work abroad, yes, you need to have a criminal background check done from your
Right,
home country. And also, you
right.
need to have a health certificate that you are mentally
Okay,
and physically fit.
right. So, if I may just repeat, because this is something very important and very crucial for all the viewers. One would be bachelor's, second would be a diploma in education, third would be a clearance certificate which shows that you are not a criminal, and fourth would be health certificate. So we are done with
Yes.
the academic part. Yeah. Now, if I may go to the professional part, where I want to become a subject teacher vis-a-vis English teacher. So I can be a maths, political science, social science teacher, as well as I want to become an English teacher. So what
Yes.
would you suggest would be the professional certification that we need to have? And also to
Uh,
let us know that do we need to change something based on the countries that we go. If we divide it to the Central European countries, Prague, Germany, etc., and if we move to the Southeast Asian countries.
Before I have a question to them, like, if they are really looking for money, if their objective is money making through teaching profession, I advise them to go to Middle East. Okay. If their
Right.
interest is for a good, happy, peaceful life, come to Southeast Asia. It's a peaceful life. Come to Southeast Asia. Now, if you want what you call to celebrate your life and enjoy,
This is
go
what
to
exactly
Europe.
I used to tell. Absolutely.
Go to Europe or South America. Now, wherever you go, there are risk factors.
Absolutely.
So it's all up to the person. I cannot guide a group without knowing what their intentions are. Now, I can tell you one thing very clearly. It's not necessary that I think many of us are just focusing, when it comes to teaching, we are just focusing into kindergarten and schools, primary level and high schools. But let me tell you, if you have a master's degree, you are eligible to teach even in a university.
Okay.
If you have a master's, you are eligible to teach even in a university, but not as subject teachers. But if you have a PhD, yes, of course, you can work there. But as like English teachers, yes, they let teachers with a good command over English language and a master degree, they let them to teach in universities across Southeast Asia and even in Europe. They don't mind to. Now, teaching adults and teaching kids are different scenarios, like,
Right. Absolutely.
If you are planning to become a university teacher, then you need to be good at academic writing. Academic writing is entirely a different skill set. So if you are good at writing thesis and editing all those contents and everything, then you're apt for that kind of a role. But if your CEFR level is less than C2, I recommend you to go for the kindergarten and primary level. But if you have C2 level, then go for the high school or higher secondary level.
I will just interrupt you in between. So this C1 and C2 level, which we told, was that website which you just showed us a few minutes back.
This website.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so EF said they can check it for free. So
so
this is like a 50 minutes EF set. They can get their certificate and everything for free, of course. So they will be able to, find themselves.
So that means what you're suggesting is that if I have got an MA or an MCom or MSc, whatever, I am eligible to teach in a university, but not as a subject teacher. If I have got a PhD,
yes. But if there is a lack of teachers or teaching staffs, they might hire you as like a teaching assistant or something and give opportunity to teach. Those are exceptions. But yes, as a subject teacher, but it's always better, to apply for the English teaching positions in university if you have a master degree and you're good at, supporting students for writing thesis and all.
And what you told, that if I've got a PhD and a doctorate, that's wonderful. Right.
You can directly apply.
Yes. So my next question is that if I consider this part, which is already, we know the part what that is required, bachelor's, etc. So that means that along with that, what is important also is that we need to have a TEFL certification.
Yes, yes, yes. It is required because TEFL or TESOL or any kind of such certificate will help the hiring team, or you call the hiring
Right.
manager of a school. It gives more confidence that this person. And I recommend all those non-native teachers to make sure that at least you have a default certificate more than 150 hours, because I do know there are teachers who will be doing it for 120 and all, but then you need to have some special skills to, you know,
Okay.
convince the
Right.
hiring manager that you are the best.
Okay, and also one more thing, Mrs. Mohit, is that even if a person is profound in a subject, say, for example, masters in mathematics, masters in physics, masters in sociology, would you still suggest that person to go for a TEFL certificate?
Yes, because he got a master's in physics. He's an expert, subject expert in physics, but he has no basic knowledge about in the field of education. Because I did my TESOL, that's the first time I learned the concepts in the field of education. That's the first time. So it's actually a opening for you to this vast field of education. So once you need a gate to enter somewhere, right? So TEFL or
Right,
whatever you call the TESOL
right,
is
I
a
got it.
gateway to the world of education. So just because you are an expert in a subject, it doesn't mean that you can be a good teacher. Especially in class trainings, helps you a lot. Those activities helps you a lot.
Right. Now, my next question, which is, I think it is an obvious question to almost all the viewers who are watching, is that what is teaching license? One. Second, how important it is. And third, how can we obtain it from India?
Uh, so in India, there is no system like a teaching license. As far as I know, there is nothing like that. But yes, for becoming a university assistant professor, there is a NET examination and all. So this is like a national eligibility test in India, right? The similar way in Southeast Asia and in other countries, if you have an education qualification and experience, a minimum experience of 2 years, you can apply for teaching license. In some countries, it's different that you need to write an examination to get that license. But in some countries, all you need to do is provide the documents and you will be able to get this teaching license. So teaching license will be allowing you to work in that country for a long term.
Okay. Okay.
If you don't
And
have, for example, in the case of Thailand, I'll talk about the case of Thailand because there are many Indians and non-native teachers want to come to Thailand. Here in Thailand, if you don't have a bachelor's in education or a diploma in the field of education, the maximum years you can work here as a teacher in Thailand is 6 years.
okay.
But
Okay.
if you have a teaching license, yes, you can work as long as the school is letting you work there.
Right. Right. So if you can explain us in practical, here I am. My name is Shaunak, and I want to apply for a teaching license. I've got my
Okay.
TEFL. I've got fair amount of experience. What would be the real check? What would be the steps that I would do right from today?
Uh, you need to have a diploma in education at least, not just
Okay.
TEFL or TESOL alone. So minimum
Okay.
requirement is a diploma in education, or if you have a bachelor's in
Okay.
education, that's fine. And make sure
Fine.
that it's not occurred through online. Means like online
Oh, I
degrees
got it.
sometimes they don't accept. So later don't blame me like, oh, this guy told us that getting uh, 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 diploma, no. But if you are doing just through online and bringing it as a document to support, they may not. So that's the thing. And you need to have a reference letter from the school where you're working, stating that you are a great teacher and you have been working there at least for the past 2 years, and their
Okay.
recommendation, so that you can process these documents.
Okay. So with those things in hand, where shall I go? So, for example,
It depends on the country. So each country got their own, license test and all. Got it. Some countries they have the test for it, like they need to write a test for it. But in some countries, all you need to do is go to their organization which provide this licensing, or the license. All you need to do is submit the documents and they get it. So it changes according to the countries. So in different countries, the laws are different. So this is it. But once you have a license from one country, it will be very useful for you in the future in case if you want to move to another country. So there is like a high preference for such people, and there are countries which accept and give you additional license without any documentation by showing your license from the other country.
I got it. So I have got a diploma in education. I have got a teaching recommendation letter from the XYZ Institute where I am working.
Yes.
I've got a
Yes.
TEFL, and I've got a nice personality as a teacher. I apply to country.
You need to work first in that country, so then only you can apply for a teaching license. You can't apply it from abroad, just doing like I have experience working in for example, I'm from Sri Lanka. I have experience working in Sri Lanka 2 years, and later you want to apply it in Thailand. No, you can't. You need to work in the country. So there are some countries which ask for the their knowledge level in the regional language too.
Okay, so with those things what you told we have in hand, I apply to, say for example, Thailand, to that school. I get in a normal kind of a job. I work there, and that school in Thailand issues me a teaching license. So this is the way.
No. That's wrong. If you are working in Thailand, the school only provides you a recommendation letter. And there is an organization called Teachers Council of Thailand, or KRUSAPA in Thailand. So you need to apply all these documents and request them for a teaching license. And that body decide whether you're eligible to get a teacher's license or not. Recently, I heard many of the teachers were asked to undergo some test, and also, the laws changes time to time, and based on.
So that means based on Thailand, when I'm working, I am applying for another country, and that body decides whether I'm eligible to get a teaching license or not.
No, if I didn't get to your point. Can you come again?
What I'm trying to tell is that once I get a job in Thailand, then I can apply for a teaching license in Thailand, and the body decides whether I'm okay.
Whether you are eligible to possess a license in Thailand. Like that's it. That license is only for Thailand. Not for any other country.
Other country, but
you will have a license. That's it, and it is like 5-year valid. So you can renew it every 5 years. That's all.
Right. So I think that you have answered one of the most vital question. I would again like to thank you, because this has been going on in the minds of numerous people, numerous audience who are actually in there. So I would just like to come to the next point, because Mrs. Mohit, you have been, you have traveled across countries in different parts, conducted workshops, etc. And you rightly told that if you want a peaceful life, come to the Southeast Asian countries. If you want to enjoy life out there, this is a very common question. I think I am iterating it for the maybe 10th or 11th time. the stiff competition, or you might not call it as a competition or whatever, between the native and the non-natives, and we know that we are non-natives, what would be your expert advice in order to get into a job? Especially, I would like to draw the attention of South Korea, which has now become almost a kind of a honeymoon spot or a next way destination where all our students want to go, maybe whatever the reason. If you can throw some
Yeah,
light, especially on
that's
getting into South Korea.
South Korea is due to the K-pop culture, and that's the main thing. Like, many people wants to be there, and they love the K-pop artists and all. So there is a common myth that non-natives cannot get a job there, but it's not true. There are Indians who are working there as English teachers too. But the only thing is, no matter where you wish to work, the thing is you need to be unique. That's the main point. For example, I just got some of the resumes from the students recently, and some of them were like 5 to 6 pages. Can you imagine? 6 pages, and nobody's gonna spend time to read those. And
Absolutely.
so if you can make your CV very short, that's the best way. So, for example, I would like to show you a sample of mine,
Please.
so that it will be easier for you. Now, if you check into it, I've mentioned my name clearly. What's my, what profession I'm looking for. That's like I want to be a communication and soft skills trainer. Now, I got vast experience in different countries, and I have conducted various workshops, but you won't find anything in it.
Right. Very true.
Because it's not necessary. If you clutter a lot of information, I have won many awards. I might have won. I have done a lot of stuff, but it doesn't matter, because you're applying for a teaching job. They just want to know what you did as a teacher. They don't care the other achievements. So if you really want to show off all your skill set, I would recommend you a LinkedIn profile, link there, and you can, publish all those documents and data out there, and just make it simple. Provide the education qualifications, and delete all your experience which is not related to that country too. So if you are applying for a job as a teacher in Thailand, I won't suggest you to write about your teaching experience in India, because that's not a matter. You have to be very specific and tell that this is going to be your first experience. But if you have an online teaching experience with Thai kids, mention it. It matters.
Right.
It matters. But if you don't have any other, job experience in that country, then include one. Don't let the hiring manager think that, you are over smart, and no, please don't do that. It will not help you at all. It will just spoil your reputation only. Second thing is, I've seen this a lot because I used to check all these resume CVs we receive in our department and all. We get emails with forwarded emails. Kindly don't do that. Forwarded emails, you might have forwarded that CV to
too many other recruiters, right?
Too many other recruiters, and you are just forwarding it to. That means you have no commitment towards that job, or you have no interest. You are just trying to, use that email inbox as a trash, which is not, as a dustbin, which is not good at all, because it's not the perception you should actually give to the outer world. Like, no, see, spend time. If you really want to get a job, you need to spend time on it. Second thing, yeah, if you need to send that email to 6 or 7 recipients, what you need to do is use the BCC option in your email so that nobody is seeing it. So that's the blind carbon copy option available in your email. Just use that. Don't do like, don't send forward mails to the job listings and all. That's
it actually doesn't look good also, because it shows the type of seriousness you have. You need to write up with a proper salutation and address it to one particular or 5 particular person. I think that is a very bad notion, which doesn't show the amount of seriousness, and that is what exactly I've been pointing out to our students in the placement webinar. So I think that this is a wonderful learning from you.
Now, one more topic is like regarding the introduction video, the 1-minute introduction video.
Yes,
and most of the videos we watch, we used to listen like, I am so and so, blah, 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 and I am an English teacher. That's it. See, everybody is telling the same. We are not there to listen the same. As a recruiter or as a hiring manager, we'll be looking for a person who has got the unique potential. Use that 1 minute, explain how you will transform that student in that campus. That's what we want to listen. We don't want to listen your history. We don't want to, because that's the past. It doesn't matter. We are looking for the present. What you can do right now for us as a teacher if you're joining in our team. We don't care what you did in the past. We care only for the present and future. So always try to include what you can do.
Absolutely. I think I am Absolutely. I think Sudeshna already has written that it is not professional to forward CVs. Fresh emails needs to be drafted for every time. Yeah, it has been pointed out by Sudeshna. So I think, yeah, we are right on the point. So this is very good. Like initially we are talking, you showed a wonderful sample. So just to summarize what we learned for this part is that the CV has to be absolutely right to the point, one. Whatever the experience, it is better that we keep the CV to 1 page, second. Third is that the introductory video, which I have been repeating in almost all my placement webinars, that is actually the bottleneck. If you have a nice introductory video, I think 85% of your work is done. But yes, as Mr. Mohit has rightly pointed out, that we need to specify exactly that what is unique in me and which is not present in others. And that actually interests that how you can transform that student into the classroom, nothing else. You can be anybody.
I want to add one more point. The thing is, right now, we are having, we are facing a pandemic. The way the classroom used to run has changed. Now, what will be the future? Future will be always the blended learning. Okay.
Yes.
So when it is gonna be blended learning, be ready to be a teacher who can be an expert in that kind of teaching methodology. So this is what you have to do. Train yourself, and try to think what will happen next year and be prepared for it.
Absolutely.
So if you try to set the contents like what you did in in the past, or your teaching methodologies in the past, they may not be interested. But if you can show like 10-second or 20-second how you plan to do the blended learning for the students, they will be impressed.
Absolutely. And I think that Asian College of Teachers, we from Asian College of Teachers, we are actually in blended learning. we understood the position of the situation that is prevailing for this pandemic, and we really transformed our online classes now into a blended learning method. I think, Mrs. Mohit, you're aware that the way we from Asian College, we are training up, we are blending the online with a flavor giving to the online part with the classroom training. I think
sir, can I answer one of the audience comment, because
questions.
I just found there are some questions. I don't want them to feel like we are avoiding them.
Yes.
Miss Rasna Balian, she asked, is CELTA more popular than TESOL, or would either be fine? So see, CELTA is from Cambridge. It's not only CELTA, you have Delta too. So if you are a very serious teacher, go for Delta. That's what I will say. And TESOL and CELTA is like, if you ask me, it's like asking me like, is Colgate or what do you call it, Pepsodent the best?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
That's a nice analogy, right?
It's up to you. Both are, teaching certification. So you have to decide. You want to study under Cambridge? Go ahead. Nobody is stopping you. Now, if you want to go with the TESOL, it's up to you. And if you see, so that's the thing. But if you're a serious, I recommend go for Delta. Okay. So I hope I cleared that question.
I think Rasna has got her answer. Right.
Now, Preeti A.G. Makaria. I'm so sorry if I am, calling your name wrong, because it's very difficult for me to read names. So online TEFL, I think, is valid only when from authentic institute, because are giving such certificates from them. Okay. See, this is about the authenticity of online certification. See, when we try to look into the profile of a student, we always value from which institute they got that certificate. So if it is from a genuine institute which got a good amount of alumni, then we value it. That's the main thing. You might even get a free TEFL or TESOL certificate. So we consider it like that. It's just free, right? Yeah, that's the question you'll be asking. Okay. Sir, the 2 years experience, Tanu SS, sir, the 2-year experience has to be in one organization. Not necessary. If you have 2 years experience, that's enough for your teaching license. I hope that's a question for that. But if you work for 1 year for an institute, I don't think they will give you a recommendation letter. That's the problem. Okay. So you need to create a good bond between the institute, then only they will be offering you a recommendation letter and request letter asking those kind of organization to issue so that's the main thing. If you are having a very good relationship within a year, then you might get it. It's up to you how you deal with your boss. Okay. Now, if there is no Rasna, Deepti Negi, if we want to teach English to adults as ESL trainer, do we need a diploma in education? To teach an adult, you don't need any diplomas. The only thing is to get a license, minimum requirement is diploma in education.
Right. Right.
So maybe now you can ask your question. We gave enough time. Later we'll come back.
Yes, we are almost at the close of this session. Before we close, I have another important question, which I think will be a question for all the viewers, is that we have got a diploma in education, we have got a graduation, we have got whatever the things, the health certificate, etc., and then we apply for a country. Now, we have often heard that any kind of what I would say English proficiency test, it can be TOEIC, it can be ielts. So comparing, I would say compare, I would say considering whatever you have mentioned, that this is required, this is required, this is required, how important it is in terms of getting an English proficiency
It is necessary. It is necessary. Some countries will only issue like a teaching visa based on your proficiency in English language. So some countries require it for their work permit. In order to acquire a work permit, you need to submit your English proficiency test. Now, the website EF I suggested you for your self-analysis, like, you know, in order to analyze yourself for free of cost. Right. But if you really want to submit for these kind of documentation purposes and all, you need to pay fee and get it from, you know, testing bodies. There are a lot of testing bodies available. Get it and submit it. It will be easier for you to get a job.
Okay. We got a relevant question. This is very common. Ankita Shetty. Now she's asking that she has been teaching as a private tutor for 5 years. This is very common, Mr. Mohit, because most of our ACT students are homemakers. I won't use the word housewife. They're homemakers. So they have got a kind of an experience which is totally relevant to private tuitions. So how would you rate that, or do you consider that to be an experience?
Now, regarding the online tutoring, now I told you, see, in-class experience is also required, because we are talking about the future, because I'm very sure that next academic year, most of the school will be preferring blended learning method. So in the blended learning method, 50% is like online teaching. So you lack that 50% of in-class teaching. So in order to overcome that, you must get a TEFL or TESOL certificate with an like in-class training. Then, you know,
that is required.
Then we know that, okay, the student can actually do classroom management, because classroom management is also very important, because in online you might be teaching 20 or 25 students, but when it comes to a regular classroom, it might be 50 students. And only in international schools you will get a teaching assistant. Not every school will provide you a teaching assistant. So you must be capable of handling all those kids. And please understand, you're in a new country, you may not know their language, and it's gonna be challenging. So how are you gonna overcome that? For that, you require experience. This is why schools are not considering it as an experience if you only have online teaching experience.
Okay, right. We have got another question from Lalita Bharati. She's asking, is IELTS 6.5 good? What would you suggest?
It's a good score, but 7 band up is always better to be an English teacher. And yes, there are options for you. You have enough time. You can just improvise yourself and be a better teacher.
Okay. Vidushi Gupta, she is asking that as an English teacher, you need to have an English proficiency certificate to get employed in Asian or European. I think it is valid for all over the world.
Yeah, all over the world, all over the world, all over the world. Now,
we missed, has a question. Yeah. She is asking this.
No. Wait, we missed some questions regarding the non-native, native, neutral accent, Aussie accent, and all those things. So that's a very interesting topic. I will give my view on it, or take on it. See, accent is something you can actually polish. It means you can train yourself and create a neutral accent, or you can try to follow American accent, British accent. It's up to you. But the reality is, if your student cannot understand your accent, then you need to change it for them.
Absolutely. Very well said.
We must create a good basement, a strong basement for our students, especially when we are teaching language. Basement of the language is very important. And so our focus must be creating a good basement so that that student can learn and progress in life. As a teacher, as a language teacher, I believe, trust me, I believe like this. You can't teach a language. You can't teach a
Absolutely.
language. You can only inspire one person to use a language and guide them how to use it.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful. I would request you again to repeat the phrase. Let everybody hear that. You cannot teach a language.
Yes, you cannot teach a language. You can inspire a student and you can guide them how to use a language. This is all we can do as teachers. If you force a student to study a language, I don't think he will do it. So this is why our courses are becoming more effective when it comes to, you might be seeing that IEC out there, right? So this is because we gamify our, this is us, like we do things like this in our classroom. So we do gamification of language and we make them more attractive to the student. As I mentioned, for us, English is not a foreign language, it's a friendly language, and we ask our student to use it, play with it, and grow with it. This is what we are doing here.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Before we wrap up, we are coming almost to an hour, and it is an excellent learning. It is an excellent session. I have just one question to ask you, Mr. Smoit. This is quite common. We get a lot of students from multifarious backgrounds who are not from a teaching background. Bankers, institute people, lot many. Now, considering you, I'm considering that we are applying for jobs outside India, people coming from a non-teaching background, what would be your advice? Like, do you consider them as potential upcoming teachers, or would you advise them to undergo something so that they get oriented to the teaching community? What would be?
Okay. I have a small test for you. I'm hoping we have 5 minutes for it, right?
Sure.
I'll be asking you some questions. I want you to answer yourself. Okay, these are the questions you need to answer yourself. You don't need to share it, but you just need to answer it. And I want to know how many of you got very clear answer for all those questions. So my first question will be, give me a minute, let me put up. Okay. So this is a very simple question to you.
Okay. Who are you?
Who are you? All you need to do it yourself. You don't need to share it, but just, okay, this is the first question. My second question is this.
Right. What do you do, or what do you love to do? Okay.
Yes. I hope you got the answer for this. Let's go for the third question.
Yes. Why you do it for?
No, who you do it for?
Who you do it for, right?
Okay. Do you have an answer for this? Who you do it for? Sure. Okay, let's go for the next one. What those people want and need.
Okay, right.
And the last one.
How they change as a result. Right.
So if you have answers for all these questions And if you check it clearly, you will realize one fact, that is the first two questions is about you, and the rest three
Yes.
are about others.
Others. Right. Very true.
So,
I realized it
see,
when, yeah, absolutely.
in most of the cases, the real problem is like many people try to answer for us only. Now, you're becoming a teacher, you're changing your profession from banker, or you're changing your profession from like hospitality industry, because I used to get a lot of teachers applications because due to this COVID situation, many lost their jobs, so they are applying as teachers. Now, my question is to you all is simple: are you passionate enough to teach a kid? Be frank, because you are playing with the future generation. This is not a fun.
Absolutely.
Teaching is a divine profession. If you value it,
Yes.
be a teacher. If you cannot value it, all you need is money, then don't be a teacher. This is my request to you all, because you will damage the future generation. So
Absolutely. And
if
yeah,
you love this
I would also
profession,
like to add to
yeah,
that
please.
teaching is a service. It is not a profession.
Yes, it's a service. It's something what you are, investing for the future generation. Your hard work is like you being a teacher. What you are doing is you are sharing your time, you are sharing your experience, you are sharing your knowledge, and you are guiding a young kid to transform to a better person. So you're molding them. So you need to
Absolutely.
be very careful. So please get proper qualification before becoming a teacher. Get good mentors. That's very important. Get good mentors. I repeat, get good mentors. To become a good teacher,
You
you
see,
need
Sandhya,
good mentor.
yeah, Sandhya has already expressed her emotions to you. Lot of fear regarding eligibilities, but you proved to explain me to be a teacher, and that's it. Thank you. So actually, it speaks. I think that we had a really I won't say a great session. I would say enlightening session, a session which actually taught us on the eligibility criteria to being an ESL teacher, what we need from the academic part, what we need from the professional part. Point number two, there is nothing called a native or sorry, it is nothing called a accent problem that we have. The accent that matters is that can you communicate? Can your student understand? There is a difference between understanding ESL and EFL. That's, I think that is a key takeaway, Mr. Smohit, for me at least, that this is we need to be very careful about what we are applying. ESL and EFL can, they are quite different. And the last thing that you told us that it is not English as a foreign language, it is English as a friendly language. And I would like to add from my side, it won't be English as a second language, it would be English as a simple language.
Okay,
So it is
that's
a
great.
wonderful, it is a wonderful session. So Mr. Smohit, like yeah, we have
I
a
would like
time
to,
restriction.
yeah, I understand. So
Yes,
even I've got
yeah,
to go
please.
to now. So I'm so sorry that I didn't able to, answer many of your questions. So all you can do is you can search my name. I'm all over in all social media. Feel free to message me or ask questions. Whenever I get time, I reply to all the messages, and also don't think wrong. It's just because of our limitations and time, because I have to do some other works also. So this is just going to be like a 1 hour session. That's what he promised, and it's already 1 hour 4 minutes. Thank you very much.
But we really
And
enjoyed. Yeah, we really enjoyed. I think the accolades are coming. Tanu has told their super session, very enlightening. Twinkle telling, thank you for the amazing session. Debulina is telling session was kept realistic. Thank you so much. So it is not the end. I can promise you, Mr. Smohit, we will keep you busy. We will keep you calling for this kind of enlightening sessions. So we would like to sign off, and it has been real pleasure from Asian College of Teachers, from me, Shaunak. It has been a real learning, and this learning we have been, I think, at least from my side, we have been hunting for a long time. And you have really shown us the light to be very optimistic about finding out and qualifying as an ESL teacher. Thank you from the entire family of Asian College of Teachers. This is Shaunak signing off from the Facebook Live session. Again, a heartfelt thanks to Mr. Smohit, who joined us and spent such a long time enlightening us, and he did that from his own school, Arun Pradit in Thailand. Thank you, Mr. Smith, and we wish to get you on board very soon. Thank you very much from Asian College.
See you later. See you later. Thank you very much for your time.
Right.
It was great.
Sign off from Asian, from Asian College of Teachers. We are signing off and promising to come back soon with certain more interesting things to make life better during this period. Thank you very much, and have a nice day ahead.
Okay, thank you. Stay